Yeah, truth is, most of us probably avoid certain foods because we simply don't like the way they taste. But even if we're told that they're healthy, there are many foods on the market that will taste great but still contain ingredients that are potentially hazardous to your health. And this is where it gets interesting. Food industry experts compiled this list of foods they say we should never eat. David Jack has some insight on this. He's a nutrition expert. He's also contributing editor to Men's Health magazine. Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You know, this is going to open a lot of eyes, I think, because again, you know, and I'm guilty of this as well. As a doc, you tell people what you think are the right foods to eat, and nutrition is such an important part of their health. But then we have to dig a little bit deeper sometimes, as you've done here. We've got some of these foods sort of laid out. Maybe we can just sort of talk through this.
Sure.
The strawberries
right
over here.
Healthy food. So, you know, strawberries, one of the things we have the environmental working group that comes up each year with this list of the clean 15 and the dirty dozen.
Right.
And basically what they look at is they look at fruits and vegetables, how they're grown and how they're treated with pesticides. So we have a fruit like a strawberry that actually, when they spray strawberries with pesticides, they're in gear that protects them while they're spraying the strawberries with the pesticides. And it's like, is that good for our body? So they've studied that there's over 13 pesticides in the common strawberry. So we think we're eating healthy, but really we have to choose, in this case, organic, to get away from those pesticides, which are so detrimental to our health, and ultimately get back to good food as it was designed.
You don't need to buy everything organic, as the article also mentioned. Then this dirty dozen, a lot of them are if you're peeling the fruit, for example,
Yes.
you're getting rid of it. With strawberries, you don't have that luxury.
Yeah, and actually this year what's interesting, we're finding kale's on that list, which never was, because it's in such popular demand now that some of it is getting the overspray because it's grown in crops near other things. So it's really getting interesting.
It's fascinating. White chocolate. Now, a lot of people aren't going to put white chocolate immediately on the healthy list, but there's, again, more than meets the eye here.
Well, chocolate is something that actually, in its rawest form, cacao, that bean, is really very healthy and it has high antioxidants. It really helps our body be well.
Right.
There's obviously things that help brain function in chocolate. What happens, like with other foods, is the beauty of that food gets stripped down and stripped away and gets processed. So what we end up with this kind of healthy snack we want to give ourselves just to feel good, and we think we're doing good for ourselves, takes out all the nutrition.
Right.
So we really want to stay closer to the dark chocolate, that organic cacao that keeps all those key nutrients inside of it. You get the healthy snack, but you also get benefit from it.
So it's more the cacao butter, right? So
Yes.
it's not really chocolate per se.
Correct. It's the butter. It's the actual,
It's marketing genius. We'll call it white chocolate.
Yes, yes. So you're further away from the truth as we get down here.
And then you realize.
Yeah.
Sprouts, again, you know, this is something that a lot of docs are going to recommend.
Yep. Healthy. Here's the problem. Sprouts, the seed generally needs moist, warm environments to grow, which is a breeding ground for bacteria.
All sorts of different organisms. And
So,
food recalls and all that.
exactly. And they found that sprouts are usually the culprit at the center of these massive food recalls and getting people sick. So if you're going to do sprouts, we recommend that you heat them to try to kill some of the bacteria, or you get some crunch with the sprouts. So you take your carrots, you take your cabbages, and you shred them, and you use those instead.
You're trying to get that texture.
Sure, get the texture, stay away from the bacteria.
Canned tomatoes. Now, is it the can or is it the tomatoes?
It's really the can. So there's a resin in the can that brings these synthetic estrogens into our body, which starts to mess with our hormones. And hormone regulation is really the issue that a lot of people are facing in being unwell and unhealthy, weight gain. So we want to get away from the can and we want to move to things like glass that don't have those resins in there, or even like a Tetra Pak, like Trader Joe's will have tomatoes in a Tetra Pak, which also helps get us away from the dangers that would be inside the can.
And finally, fish, and specifically swordfish over here.
Sure.
Yeah, and I should point out, you guys interviewed a lot of different experts for this column.
We did.
Dr. Landrigan, who's someone I know well, weighed in on this. What do you say?
So swordfish, really high in mercury. The other thing is it's not sustainably fished a lot. So they'll use methods that will actually damage other sea life. So you're getting a double whammy with it. You're getting high mercury, which there's tons of issues with that. It's a toxin. But you're also having these unsustainable fishing practices. So you want to move to things like wild Alaskan salmon. You want to move to things like Pacific, even Pacific tuna, which gets you a little closer. Snakehead fish now, they're saying, tastes a lot like swordfish, but these are more sustainably fished. They're line caught, they're trolled for, the mercury's down, so it's better for the environment, it's better for your body.
Have you had snakehead fish?
I haven't yet.
I heard it tastes a lot like swordfish.
I know, I got to get over the name a little bit, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
Change that name, maybe. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.